In mathematics, let me answer you like this. In mathematics, we are going to deal with numbers. And before you deal with numbers, you must know what you call the categories of numbers. And when you're talking about the categories of numbers, we are talking about sets of numbers. And when you're talking about sets of numbers, we are talking about the groups in which we can find numbers. Each and every number is found in its own set or in its own group, depending on its nature or depending on its character when it comes to multiplication, division, and also subtraction. So the first set of number that we have is the set of what we call natural numbers. And when we are talking about natural numbers, we are also talking about the counting of numbers. For example, 1, 2, 3. You don't start counting by saying 0, because if you are to be asked to go and count the number of students in the class, you can't say 0, 1. You start by saying 1, 2, 3. So this is the first set of numbers. And the second set, which is very, very important, is the set of prime number. What is a prime number? When you are talking about the prime number, we are talking about those numbers with only two factors. That is 1 and itself. And that number must be more than 1. This is the key phrase which says that number must be more than 1, which means we are talking about the numbers with only two factors. That is 1 and itself. But that number must be more than 1, which makes 2 the smallest prime number that we have. If the question comes and say, list down the smallest prime number, the correct answer there is 2. And we move on talking about what you call even numbers. When you're talking about even numbers, we are talking about those numbers that can be exactly divisible by 2, which means we are talking about numbers that can be divisible by 2 without even leaving the remainder, which include 0, 2, 4. Then also we move on talking about odd numbers. When we're talking about odd numbers, we are talking about the numbers that are not exactly divisible by 2, which include 1, 3, 5, and so forth. Okay? And also you need to be careful on those sets of numbers, because we have what you call the square root, the cube root, the fourth root. Let me explain a bit on that one. When we are saying find the square root of a certain number, for example, the question says find the square root of 25. In other words, the question is saying give us the number that multiplies itself 2 times to give us 25, which makes 5 the correct answer, because if we say 5 times 5, we are going to get 25. And when the question says find the cube root of 8, when the question says find the cube root of 8, in other words, they are saying give us the number that multiplies itself 3 times to give us 8, which makes 2 the correct answer, because if we say 2 times 2 times 2, we are going to get 8. And if the question says find the